the fuck about what them bitches gotta say. I'm a West nigga till they put me in the grave. I don't give a love fuck about what them niggas gotta say. I'm a West nigga till they put me in the grave. I don't care about what they say. Hey. Fuck with my Akima, fuck with my sisters, then I got a problem, I'm never gonna miss you. I got 100 hanging out the AR, I got a 50 hanging out the pistol. He say it's corner, I'm just being realistic. I be on them corner posted with the realest. If it's a Sabbath, then we going fishing. I'm reeling them in, that's a God-given mission. I'm really on 10, but I'm stamped in the pistol. I get the order, be glad of this mission. Hebrew Academy graduate, nigga. Training, go through the baddest conditions. I don't fuck with none but the baddest of bitches. She righteous, submissive, she glad to be with me. Had that thing Putin like that, man. Niggas, she know I'm a prophet, she glad to be listening. Disrespect, I ain't having that shit. Tell her go make some business from scratch. She bitchin' a different breed of black man. We don't do the bad thing. I remember back when I was really trapping, trying to get the racks in, selling dope to black men. But now I'm trying to make it straight. Like, forget about my face. We standing up straight, can't fold us. Too heavy, the world won't hold us. Go get you some rank, I told you. Line up in these ranks, we sold you. You can take them to the bank, we focus on. How many times must we remind you? One body, one way, some break off, but never take off as a flex. When the law with you ain't no up next, it's just us, nigga, that's that on that. All that weak shit, that ain't no threat. Say you won't beat, bitch, with that ain't no sweat. We with all that. The Lord called a nigga out the world. I responded and called back. Oh Lord. And everything that they stole from us, fuck that shit. We want all that. Them niggas snitching and they act like bitches. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They killing women and they fuck with sisters. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. Come on the commanding general, YAHANNA, we unaffiliated with them. Like they tongue and they say they keep that shit 100, we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. That's why we unaffiliated with them. I cannot fuck around with fake niggas. We taking ground when we in your city. You better have the women, have the liquor. Keep that bitch on me, please don't but the same. Don't be a fool and be another victim. Say you a goon, you just another Christian. How you my brother, you ain't in there with me. We in the gutter, deep down in the trenches. We with them niggas locked up in the prison. Fucking Hispanic, Native American, Indian, we ain't just talking shit, but we living in it. We be everywhere, you can't miss it. And we be fresh as hell, take a picture. And we professional with the scriptures. Play, we gon' script, yeah, we some killers. These niggas tripping, they mind blown. Swear business, forgive me if I'm wrong. I don't get it pause when niggas say that they be looking for niggas to slide on. The slide that I know about is when I assemble the group with the slide for real. I get the order, you know that it's long. See me and my niggas gon' die for real. The bigger the better for kingdom of heaven. You niggas get wet about me cause I'm fed up. I rep UPK. My niggas won't let up. Got choppers, got nines, AKs, Berettas. You say you don't like me, you say you won't fight with me and my nigga like bitch or whatever. You say you don't like me, you say you won't fight with me and my nigga like. Them niggas snitching and they act like bitches. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They killing women and they fuck with sisters. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. Come on the commanding general, YAHANNA, we unaffiliated with them. Like they tongue and they say they keep that shit 100, we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. Yeah. See, they always ask us like, why y'all don't fuck with such and such? Why y'all won't come together with such and such? I be like, we unaffiliated with them. Understand me? Like, niggas be out here on some weirdo shit. And to be honest, that's why we unaffiliated with them. Hey, that's why we unaffiliated with them. Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Okay,
I've been in my Bible lately. You understand me? Like, shit crazy out here.
World said fuck us, so we said fuck the world.
You know,
the world said fuck us,
Matthew 24:13.
so we said fuck the world.
He that shall endure to the end.
The world said fuck us,
Shall be
so we
saved.
said fuck the world.
Fuck the world.
The world don't love us, no. So we said fuck the world. Look, I know your kinfolk gone, but hold on. I know them lights ain't on, but hold on. Look, even if you feel you got nothing to hold on, I got a message. God said, hold on, hold on to your sanity. I know you in a position that you ain't plan to be. With our lives, we're not addicted to gambling. You feel the pressure and the thoughts in your head are scrambling. You feel the storm getting closer. You feel like giving up before you even start, then it's over. You feeling like fuck it, you going through too much to be sober. Life is passing you by as you do this over and over, over and over, over and over, over and over. Time to make a change now. Instead of that, you fall a victim to the same now. Starting to find out that this life is not a game now. Back against the wall, couldn't run as the poor man screamed to the top of his lungs. Said fuck us. So we said, fuck the world. The world said, fuck us. So we said, fuck the world. The world said, fuck us. So we said, fuck the world. The world don't love us. So we said, fuck the world. For real, look. Cover your eyes, don't wanna see the blood on the leaves. Bodies of eyes innocently hanging from trees, floating in screens, blood in the water, blood on the altar. Still don't believe justice is coming. Heavenly Father, did not Christ say vengeance is mine? Don't even bother. When he return, it's gonna be slaughter. Ooh, I know you don't wanna face it, but what's real love sound like hatred. And you gotta be fucking crazy if you think they gonna get away with killing all them babies, feeding them to alligators. All the women that was raped, the transatlantic slave trade made us build a nation that we can't partake in. School to prison, pipeline, mass incarceration. All the lives that's been taken, hated to love it. You only talk about forgiveness cause we never get justice. I think you really reluctant. I remember hearing a hood nigga say all the shit he would've done if he was living during slavery. Look what's going on today, and you ain't doing a damn thing but putting shame on your ancestors' name. But who's to blame? All these drugs, pills, weed, beans, lean, and cocaine. I get the feeling that we living in a big dope game. World said fuck us. So we said, fuck the world. The world said, fuck us. So we said, fuck the world. The world said, fuck us. So we said, fuck the world. The world don't love us. So we said, fuck the world.
Yeah, on 44 shit, you know what I mean? Busy man, busy man. Look, when that shit drop, you step all the way on their neck, step on their neck and they head with that shit.
Fine then, I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I did it, nice but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. They mad, up to solid, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. No, they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rank for it, I got real soldiers, kill for me, nigga, watch yourself. They say you been in beast mode lately, you is not yourself. When you dropping that fire, precious marriage, they inquiring. They can't stop what's coming, but I see them conspiring. Cross the line, them firing. This bitch here, finna break the spin on kindness. I don't trust you, circle small. You can keep your features. Me and my niggas don't keep no secrets. And it feel like Jeepers Creepers. Say they want some smoke, dog. So I brought these chimney sweeps. Coming like we coming, you can't even cap. These niggas don't run it like we run it. Bitch, don't even start. Bitch, I'm with my niggas till the end, till them do us part. So if you wanna leave, you can leave, bitch. Bless your heart, fine then. I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. He nice, but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a man, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. I heard they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rate for real. Take over in effect, yeah, I'm fully focused. You might not see it on me, just know it's women, that bitch fully loaded. Ooh, yeah, we up and rolling. Told them I need major motion. Think I'm joking, I'ma school them niggas like they baby Jody. Got it out the dust, now I'm too clean, don't know why they hate me. What you want out life, dog? Guns and butter, baby boy. UPK top, dog. Certified road runner. I'ma turn that Econ line into a damn tank. I got chopper stash in the attic like they in front. See him throwing that one up with that W, that's my blood, bro. Fine in. I ain't show no mercy, I'm gonna show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel. I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it. Got it out the dust, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. He's nice, but he don't show the skills how I show the skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a made, circle tight, yeah, back and seal. Said they want my life, I ain't worried, I got Ray for real.
Clap it up. Clap it up for the Most High. Let's clap it up for Yahweh Shamash in the call Christ. Let's give it up for Commander General YAHANNA, all the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, the sisters, and the young men. With the ISUPK coming out of 1 West Harlem, New York, 125th Street under Commander General YAHANNA. And since 1969, we've been bringing out the truth that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the true children of the Bible. I'm Preaching Officer Yashala holding down this scripture breakdown class for Preaching Officer 5000 Kawoga Ball. Today we're going to be covering about oppression and the wickedness of man and of the world, because we're so complacent in today's society that we don't realize that we're still being oppressed. We're still being enslaved in today's time in America. Just because it's not being called slavery anymore, it doesn't mean that we're not being enslaved or oppressed. We're running like a well-oiled machine in a battery. We get up in the morning, we get washed, we get dressed, we go to work. We go work as slave for the white man or for whoever. We go make them rich, make our little couple dollars, and then we go home. We take care of our children, take care of our family, get up and repeat the same cycle, right? After a while, it gets repetitive, and we have to realize that at this point, we're complacent because we don't realize that this is what's actually happening. They have us to the point where they don't have to, per se, oppress us anymore. They have us right where they want us, and to the point where they can just sit back and eat popcorn and watch the show. Day by day, we oppress one another. We oppress each other. We hurt, harm, and unalive one another. We disrespect one another. You understand? We don't know who we are as far as identity as a people. So we disrespect one another, men and women alike. And this is something that's a repetitive cycle in Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian communities. You understand? We join Christianity, we join Islam, and these are false idols and false deities because we don't know no better, nor do we want to know any better, because we think we know everything because we're so caught up pleasing our flesh, and we don't realize that that's not the way. I was just looking at something on YouTube with Cap Cesario, and I reposted it on Facebook because it's an amazing thing that even during these times of peril and these rough times, we still make a way with tenacity to make our way on these famous platforms of dealing with these people that's famous through social media and these influencers, and we're actually able to sit down with them, have conversations, have interviews, and get to talk about the issues that's at hand, rather than talking about what's going on social media behind the scenes. Today, in today's society, we're in the latter days, right? And even in these latter days, we have to realize that we are being oppressed, and we have to realize that we are being wicked to one another, right? If we go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 7, it says, "Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad." Oppression should make any Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian man mad in today's time, in today's society. If you're not mad that you work 2 jobs, you barely get 6 hours of sleep at night, and you pay just to pay your bills, just to stay ahead, and you're not ahead, and you're still broke. If that don't make you mad as a Black man, then something is wrong with you. You have to take a look in the mirror and dig deep within yourself and get to the bottom of why that specific thing doesn't disturb you as a Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian man. You understand? But again, we take it from the top. It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. In Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian households, we are being oppressed. We're being oppressed by our boss. We're being oppressed by our own women. In today's society, we disrespect one another in each other's household. And it's like we have no regard for one another, but then we turn around and say we love each other. How can we love each other if we have no regard for our better and well-being? You know, we disrespect our women, our children disrespect us. You know, we think we're doing a good job, but we're raising unruly children because we have in single family households. You know, there were statistics that came out that showed the difference between single mothers raising children and single fathers raising children. And what the statistics showed is single fathers raising children is greater than a single mother, for the simple fact when a single dad is raising children, it's the equivalent of the man and wife being home raising these children, because he instills them with the stuff that the father is supposed to and the sternness of a parent, but also has the compassion and the love and care as that the mother would show to a child. You understand? And that's the difference between men and women. When you got single mothers that's raising children in today's society, these children are growing up becoming King Vaughn, Sexy Red, Ice Spice, Blueface. You understand? Whack 100s, things of that nature. You understand? Because there's no way in hell you're going to sit there and try to convince me that, you know, kids being raised in a loving household of a mother and a father, and they still become an unruly child. Now you get children that get rebellious, you understand, because as they get older, you know, they start smelling themselves. They want to, you know, sow their own oat, their royal oats, so to speak. You know, especially young men. You know, young boys becoming young men. Sometimes they feel they want to spread their wings, you know. But for the majority of Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian households, when you have both parents in the household, you have such thing as structure and order raising these children. They don't turn out that bad. You understand? Like my generation, for example, we grew up playing Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, things of that nature. We turned out not that bad. You know, it was a rare occasion that a select percentage of us from my generation turn to life's a crime or turn to drugs or alcoholism or things of that nature. You get what I'm saying? It all depends on our upbringing and our overall growth. You understand? You know, you got a lot of people that had a strong family support system, and you got some people that had it rough. You know, a lot of us as a whole grew up without both parents, or we grew up without, you know, a father, or we grew up without a mom, you know, or we lost both parents growing up and things of that nature. And this is, and all this is due to us not knowing who we are or knowing who's our God to know how to live better, to be better. You understand? Because we get strung out on drugs and alcohol, because we didn't know how to follow the dietary laws in the book of Leviticus, we didn't eat properly. We didn't eat healthy enough. We ended up getting cancer and diabetes and high blood pressure and things of that nature. And a lot of us as people overall started dying out younger and younger and younger as the generations passed. See, everything ties together when it comes to oppression. You understand? And also being wicked, because the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And the wickedness of this society and of these devils pour into us in our communities. You know, we're stubborn and stiff-necked people. So just as stubborn as we ought to listen to one another, we're even more stubborn in today's time to listen to what's right when we feel we know better because of how we grew up. It's hard for somebody to be in their 20s, 30s, or even 40s to find out everything that they know, everything that they learned was wrong. And that's not the way that they should have learned, or that's not what they should have known growing up. It's a hard pill to swallow, you know, and this is why the Most High deal with small numbers. You understand? And it's not totally our fault as a people, but at the same time, it's still our fault because we don't keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. You understand? But through oppression, it made it difficult. If we go to the book of Psalms, chapter 9, verse 9, it says, the Lord also will be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. In today's society, this is a time of trouble. You understand? COVID-19, RSV, monkeypox, you know, driving while black, being unalive during routine traffic stops. You understand? Trump being president. All these are times of trouble. You understand? Natural disasters in diverse places. These are times of trouble. These are times of us being oppressed. You understand? Trump is passing a bill that's going to eliminate subsidized housing, public assistance, Section 8, welfare within the next 2 years, right? You know, us as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we thrived and survived off of these governmental programs and assistance. And at the same time, it did help us, but it also hindered us because it segregated us. Because again, when we go back to Ecclesiastes 7:7, where it says, oppression maketh the wise man mad, and the gift destroyeth the heart. That gift to our Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian women was removing the Black men from the home and putting them on child support. You know, up until this time, they didn't know or realize that child support wasn't even created for the custodial parent nor the child, but another clever way for the government and the oppressor to tax our pockets as a people. And not only that, control the masses as far as the men, and the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian men, to keep us oppressed, because when you get placed on child support, you're automatically put on probation. That's insane. Because I always wondered, when brothers is on child support and they miss a payment and they get arrested, well, I always ask, like, well, they locked you up for a few days. Does that cover your payment that you didn't pay? And they say no all the time. And I wonder, like, well, how does that make sense? If you want child support and you get locked up for missing a payment, and they still tell you owe that payment, and that goes to your arrears. Like, I never understood that. And then now that I'm privy to what child support really is all about, now I understand. The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, and they will find any way, shape, form possible to keep us down, to keep us oppressed, and to keep us subservient to their will, one way or the next, whether we want to or not. That's why in Psalms chapter 9, verse 9, it says, the Lord also will be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. But in order for the Most High to be our refuge, we have to not just learn, not just study, but abide by and live these laws, statutes, and commandments of the Lord thy God. We have to live these scriptures. These is our scriptures and nobody else's. Let's see. If we go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 31, it says, he that oppresseth the poor reproacheth his maker. Meaning, we're so beaten down and oppressed to the point that now is deeper than the heathens and other nations outside of the 12 oppressing us. we are now at a state of being where we oppress each other. You understand? And by us oppressing one another, we're showing reproach to our Creator. We're showing disrespect to the Most High, because the Most High wants us to love ourselves and love one another as He loves us. Our King Yahweh Shah who we inwardly call Christ, wants us to love one another as He loved us. That was the whole point of His ultimate sacrifice, was to not only give us a grace period to get it together, but for us to open our eyes and see that He sacrificed Himself so we can learn how to love one another as He loved us. Because when it says, when you're willing to risk your life for a friend, there is no greater commandment. You understand? This is why in the ISUPK, we show love. Love is an action. We love one another because love is correction. And when we see one of us slipping, we help them up by correcting them. If I'm slipping, my brother's job is to pick me up by correcting me, showing me what's wrong, and then guiding me to make the correction. And then from there, it's on me to make the correction so I don't make that mistake twice. You understand? Or continuously making that mistake. Let me read it from the top. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 31. He that oppresseth the poor reproacheth his maker, but he that honoreth him have mercy on the poor. You understand? And the reason why I use us as an example is because these scriptures don't apply to the oppressor other than the part that they oppress. You understand? By the rich oppressing the poor, keeping us poor so they can stay rich, they reproacheth the Most High. And this is why they're disowned from the Most High. This is why they have nothing to do with the law, statutes, and commandments that we are led to follow in this book. You understand? Now, if they were to honor us, honor the poor, and not show reproach to the Most High, then the Most High might give them a slight reprieve in the next kingdom when they become our slaves. Maybe the Most High and our King will have us treat them a little more fairly, and not treat them exactly how they treated us when we were enslaved. You understand? Because we actually have love. We actually have compassion. Even though they oppressed us, they unalived us, they imprisoned us, they enslaved us for over 400 years, we still show them compassion being in the world today, in the world that we live in. We still show care and compassion to our oppressor, to our enemy, even when we're not supposed to, because in the scriptures, it says, do not abhor the Edomite. So we're not supposed to outright just disrespect them, treat them unfairly, unalive them, even though that's how they treat us. That's how they do us. This is how we're treated day in and day out. We're constantly oppressed. We're constantly beat down. You understand? Now, let's see. Okay. Now we switch it up. We go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 19, where it says, fret not thyself because of evil men, neither be thou envious at the wicked. Don't show too much worry to these oppressors for being evil. You understand? And fret not at your own brothers in this world, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, that are being evil to you. And don't be envious to the wicked. You understand? The oppressors were created to be wicked. You understand? They've had a wicked spirit on them since the beginning of time. That's why they were put in the position that they were put in, and we were placed in the position that we are in. We are supposed to be the hierarchy, but being that we don't keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and we don't hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God and keep his law, statutes, and commandments, We were scattered among these nations and scattered among these heathens, but we were also warned not to learn the ways of the heathens. That was our test. Even though we were thrown among them, we were still supposed to serve our God. And a lot of us, as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, chose to learn the ways of the heathen. That's why today's time we celebrate Christmas, we celebrate Halloween, we celebrate Thanksgiving, we celebrate our birthdays, we celebrate St. Patrick's Day, President's Day, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all these man-made holidays, but we don't keep one holy convocation of the Lord thy God, like the Feast of Purim or the Feast of Hanukkah or the Lord's Passover. We are not to be envious of the wicked. And it says in verse 20, for there shall be no reward to the evil man. The candle of the wicked shall be put out, meaning fret not, worry not at evil men, and don't be envious of the wicked. The Most High is going to take care of them. That's why the scriptures say, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, for I will repay the debts. You understand? You got to leave it up to big homie. That's, you got to leave it up to our King, Yahweh Shemasiah, who we annually call Christ. He's going to send his son, God is going to send his son, our King, down here to repay those debts. You understand? That's what it means when you say you don't want the Most High to pull up on you, because when he pull up on you, there's nothing to talk about. It's over. You're done. You're off the line. He's going to get you up out of here. Because, see, God is the only one that could destroy the flesh and the spirit. See, the white man could just destroy your flesh and unalive you, but you'll come back. The Most High can keep you from coming back. The Most High can destroy your spirit and your flesh. Shalom, Yahbashim Yahushua Barakatah.
Shalom, Yahbashim Yahushua Barakatah.
What's going on with you, sir?
Ain't nothing. What's the class on, man? How you doing?
I'm Tawab. We're talking about oppression and wickedness of man and of the world. So I was just reading Proverbs 24 and 19. I started at 19 where it says, fret not thyself because of evil men, neither be thou envious at the wicked. And right now I'm in verse 20 where it says, for there shall be no reward to the evil man. The candle of the wicked shall be put out. Meaning don't try to take vengeance into your own hands. Leave it to the Most High. For that candle of the wicked, he's going to put out himself personally. But as long as you keep his law, statutes, and commandments, you'll have his mercy and his protection.
Can you hear me?
Conscious, I can hear you loud and clear.
To your topic, your man Donald Trump is, you know, he ain't your man. You know it's a figure of speech.
I said, okay, you talk about big homie.
Yeah, you know it's a figure of speech.
Conscious,
he is cutting food stamps in Section 8.
I just brought that out. He passed the bill and he said, y'all got 2 years.
Until it's done?
Until it goes through in effect. He said, y'all got 2 years. He's killing Section 8.
I don't even trust that. He might do it in the next 6 weeks.
I don't know if he could do that across the board. That's a lot, because think about every city, every state, and every city is within these states that got subsidized housing assistance, low income housing, Section 8, and food programs. That's a lot. That's a big.
He's gonna mess up real estate.
Yes.
There's a lot of landlords gonna go into foreclosure because the Section 810. I know somebody. They got a hole behind the guy that owned the liquor store over in Elizabeth by my old job.
I know you're talking about.
He owned all the apartment buildings.
Behind
the liquor store. He owns all of them. Like, I can say all of them, but damn near all of them.
A vast majority of that real estate over there in that area.
Listen, and they all Section 8 out.
What? Oh yeah, he'll have to close down the liquor store and everything if he
Yeah, you
stops
had to
getting
close.
that Section
You
8.
got to close down everything. Go back to Pakistan.
And what does that mean for those programs, them government programs that allow people to buy houses through Section 8?
Yeah, you better go get you one because it's almost up.
Like, Kashak's sister got a house through Section 8 right now, if I'm not mistaken,
Uh-huh.
down in South Jersey. Like, they got some good programs that help you get housing. Like, but my thing is, do they pay the whole thing off, or do you still have to like make mortgage payments? Like, do they pay up front and then we just owe Section 8? Or like, I don't know how that works as far as that program.
I don't know. I would imagine you just don't have to have a down payment and all that, because that down payment is will really stop you from getting the house. Like,
Yeah,
you got to come up with 20, 30 grand to just to move in. Like,
they make it sound good when they say 3% or 10%, but that 3 to 10%'s a mug when you ain't
no,
got it.
hell no, it ain't no 3 or 10%. It's 20%.
Hell, I was being modest when I said 3 to 10% because you lucked up if you could find something and get a down payment of 3, get it down between 3 and 10%.
Hold on 1 second. Alexa, what's 20% of 500,000?
That's a low ball number.
You need $100,000 in your bank account.
Sugar honey iced tea. We can't even keep $1,000 in our account these days.
Yeah, you need 100 grand down. That's just to give to them so you could move in. Then you got closing costs and all that.
All them extra little fees in between and brokerage fees and all of that and rental. Man,
hold on 1 second.
Uh-huh.
Alexa, how much is the closing cost on a $500,000 house?
From Sophie.com. Assuming no down payment, closing costs for a $500,000 home would amount to $15,000 to $30,000.
It costs in between $15,000 to $30,000 for closing costs.
On top of the $100?
On top of the 100.
Jesus. Oh.
We talking about oppression, right?
God, and I already brought out surely oppression making the wise man mad.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, if you're not mad that you being oppressed in today's time, something wrong with you.
Yeah, it's like you're not alive. You're not alive, and you thinking everything's okay.
Come, sir. Like, I got stuff to bring. I'm gonna bring it out later on in the class. I got a couple of clips to show, examples of the oppression. Like, they got us to the point where we in these streets oppressing each other. Like, a homeless black dude asked another black dude for change, homeless man, and they almost turned into a brawl, like, because the young brother assumed he was a junkie or something. He was like, I ain't gonna give it to you to get high. He's like, who told you I get high? Like, and that's where it started escalating. You can't judge a book by its cover. If a brother down on his luck, like, don't automatically assume he a junkie or something like that. He might just literally need a couple dollars so he can try to get him something to eat. Or he might need it to get transportation to go to the shelter or something like that. You get what I'm saying? Like, and that's a prime example of why I got that footage and why I'm making this class about oppression and the wickedness of man in the world. We're so psychologically damaged that the white man can sit back and just enjoy the show. We're going to oppress one another. We're going to disrespect and harm one another, and that's the sad part about how we are in today's society. How can we keep the law, statutes, and commandments if we're out here going against everything that the Bible says? And that's because we don't know what the law, statutes, and commandments is. And every time we try to reach out to our people to wake them up, you know what they say? They go straight Christian on us. Oh, I'm good. I go to church on Sunday. Yep. Oh, I read the Bible. I'm good. The Lord knows my heart. You know that line.
Okay.
And it's wrong. And they don't understand. We really love being in the ISUPK. I really understand. Like, we really love our people. And we love them to the point that it hurts us to see them being out here in the world like that, because once it took us to step out of the world for us to see it. Like it's like more and more I do these classes, sir. I grow more compassion for my people, and it makes me want to do more. That's why I'm really starting to buckle down and take these classes and take this teaching more seriously. And I'm learning to take myself more seriously, because if I'm not right, then I can't help get my people right. If I'm not properly taking care of myself, then how can I be here to try to help other people take care of themselves? Because I'd be a hypocrite to tell somebody to do something if I'm not willing to do it.
Okay. Hey, my phone about to die. I'm gonna have to put it on the charger.
All right, no sweat. But whenever you get juice, just
I'm
jump back in whenever you
I'm
feel free, sir.
I'm gonna come back probably in about 30 minutes.
Come, no sweat.
Okay.
I'll be
All
here,
right.
sir. All
All
right,
right.
well,
Shalom. Yahbashim Yahushabrakatah.
shalom. Y'all about Now, Israel, we have to get back to learning who our God is, right? We have to get back to learning these laws, statutes, and commandments. We have to get back to loving ourselves more, so we can learn how to love one another and be better brothers and sisters to one another. You understand me? Now, where I left off at in Proverbs 24 and 20, it says, "For there shall be no reward to the evil man," meaning the people that's in the world that's being evil to you, don't fret not. Don't worry about them. Pay them no mind. It costs you nothing to pay them no mind. Leave them to the Most High. I know it's hard because we're prideful people. We have a lot of pride and we have a lot of ego. You understand? And we don't allow the pride nor the ego to feel hurt, because we are very emotional creatures as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in general. So for us to not for us to not, feel disrespected or violated, we have to get deeper into these law, statutes, and commandments, and get deep into and get rooted into these scriptures, so we can know how to discern and become more emotionally intelligent, to not let certain things trigger emotion, rather for it to trigger thought, and for us to use our brain and rationalize, okay, I see what you're doing. You're not going to do that. This is what's going to happen. Bop, 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 bop. You understand? So don't worry about the evil man. There's no reward for the evil man. And the wicked, their candle is going to be put out real soon. I don't know if you see this, but the Lord is working. All these planes going down, crashing, all these natural disasters in diverse places, Euphrates River drying up. Like, the world is making shift and making way. I pray y'all understand. Now we go to verse 21. My son, fear thou the Lord and the king, meaning fear God and fear Yahweh Shah Mashiach, who we ignorantly call Christ, who is our king, and meddle not with them that are given to change. Like, don't get in their way when they're putting that work in. You understand? When it comes to our king Yahweh Shah Mashiach, who we ignorantly call Christ, step out his way. Keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and just move. You understand? Don't get caught in that crossfire when they putting that work in. Don't get caught. Don't get caught lacking when he come on down here, when that sky crack open and he come down with them 200 million angels. You understand? You steadfast. You stay in the scriptures and you stay prophesying to the wind, and you stay learning. You understand? That's what we do. Verse 22, for their calamity shall rise suddenly, and who knoweth the run of them both? Meaning, their time of calamity is near. Is so close. We're like right there. You know, their time of calamity is coming, and their reign on the top is going to be short like leprechauns. You understand? Their rise is going to be suddenly stopped short and abruptly. And our job is to move out the way, Israel. Move out the way. I pray you understand. Let's see. It's a little different when I'm by myself. I miss my partner, man. You know, any one of my partners that come read. Let's see. Here we go. It's a book of let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 17. Learn to do well. Seek judgment. Like seek to be judged. Learn these laws, statutes, and commandments. Seek judgment, because with judgment you'll be corrected for any mistakes you've made, and you'll be given guidance to make those corrections for those mistakes. So learn to do well and seek judgment. Relieve the oppressed, meaning if you was oppressing somebody, stop. Especially if you're Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. If you were oppressing somebody, just stop. You understand? Make the correction, because correction is love. And always remember, if you're willing to sit there and beg for mercy from the Most High for where you was being a wicked, disgusting bastard in this world, then who are you to not show mercy and compassion for someone that's going through trials and tribulation? Always keep that in mind, Israel. Judge the fatherless. Plead for the widow. You understand? Plead for that widow that lost her husband. Plead for these sisters in these single parent households that ran the fathers out the household. You got rare cases where the sisters lost their husbands, the husbands passed away. You know, even during those times of situations, plead with the Most High for those sisters. You know, they had no control over that situation, but the ones that ran the fathers out the house, plead for them not to be punished by the Most High, so they could be given a chance to repent for their sins and hopefully make right in their troublesome ways. You understand? We have to start showing more mercy and forgiving these sisters for their transgressions, because they don't know no better. All we could do is pray and plead with the Most High to allow these sisters to Salakia. Shalom. Yabashim Yashabrakta.
Shalom, sir. Y'all Bashem, y'all Shabrakatah, man. Good night. It was taking long. I've been trying to get in this for 30 minutes. It must have been my connection down here at this hospital.
Yeah, your connection be bad down there at the hospital. But I'm talking the topic today about oppression and the wickedness of man and of the world, right? And I was just reading Isaiah chapter 1, verse 17, where it says, learn to do well, seek judgment, relieve the oppressed, judge the fatherless, and plead for the widow. And I was just explaining how we have to plead for these sisters that don't know no better and ran the men out of the household. And now we got these single parent households. You know, allow the Lord to hopefully give them the insight to see the error in their way and make the correction and open them doors for the men to come back into that life. You understand? Because we have enough of King Vaughns and FBG ducks out here. You get what I'm saying? We got enough of these little kids out here in Chicago running around unaliving one another. This is why it's very imperative that we learn these law, statutes, and commandments so we can learn how to be better brothers and sisters, because we're so destroyed in today's society that the white man is the devil, but they such devils that they can just sit back, enjoy the show, and eat popcorn and watch us destroy each other now. Because now we're at a point where we're complacent in the oppression, that we're unaliving one another, we're oppressing one another, we're disrespecting and harming one another, and we're doing it to each other, and it needs to stop. This is why we're in the position that we're in, and we're teaching what we're teaching. Sidebar, how's my nephew doing, man?
He too wild. He too wild. You know, I'm down here in New Brunswick right now. You know what I mean? At the rehabilitation center and everything. You know,
Damn, it's all the way in New Brunswick?
Yeah, they sent me down to New Brunswick, man.
That's
so,
crazy.
You know,
they have a rehabilitation center up there in Livingston?
Only a OT one.
Oh.
Only a OT one, and that's about it. But
how are they up there so far?
Man, what's crazy is it's crazy that my son getting the best education he's gotten in a while. you know, do what they supposed to do. This therapy thing they doing, you know, they top of the line.
That's too you got. I could tell your signal's kind of bad down there. You was breaking up on me. Your screen froze. Yeah, I can't make out what you're saying. I don't know. Maybe try to find you a spot where the signal fair. I know you bouncing around right now.
Yeah.
I was gonna say just try to find you a good spot for connection and then yeah, just find you a spot with good connection and jump back in. Bob Kashaw. Israel. It's imperative that we stop being complacent in this oppression, right? We have to stop being oppressed to one another, and we have to really get back to these laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. That's the only way that we're going to survive in today's society, right? If we go to the book of Psalms, chapter 72, verse 4, it says, "He shall judge the poor of the people. He shall save the children of the needy, and shall break the pieces the oppressor." Meaning, if we get back to these law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, He's going to judge us, right? And He's going to judge us by the fruits of our work, our labor. And if He sees that we're being obedient children and we're serving Him properly and we're keeping all His law, statutes, and commandments, not some, not half, not the ones we like, but all of them, He's going to save the children of the needy, and He's going to break the oppressor, you understand, and break them into pieces. But in order for that to occur, there's certain conditions that have to be met. We have to learn, study, and live these laws, statutes, and commandments. We have to hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all His commandments that He commanded thee this day, as said in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. You understand? Let's see. Bear with me. Now, look, this is about to explain that, the Lord is not happy or takes pride in unaliving his own creation. It disheartens Him to have to unalive us, and which is why we have to stop being wicked to one another. We have to, Israel. We have to stop being wicked to one another, and we have to stop oppressing one another. You understand? And that's what this scripture is explaining. We have to stop being wicked to one another. If we go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 18, verse 23, it says, "Have I any pleasure at all that the wicked should die, saith the Lord God, and not that he should return from his ways and live?" Meaning we have to stop being wicked, not to just to each other, but to ourselves. We have to stop pleasing our flesh. We have to stop getting high. We have to stop drinking obsessively. We have to stop fornicating. We have to stop being whoremongers, making whores of our sisters. Because, like I said, the Most High doesn't take pleasure in taking us up out of here, but He will do what's necessary if we're not being obedient children. It's the same thing as if when your father tell you, clean up your room and take out the garbage. If you don't do what he told you when he told you to do it, you're going to be punished. If you don't keep the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments, He punishes you. The same as a father would punish his child for not doing his chores. As Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we have to get back to the ways of the Most High. It's better for us to do and follow the laws of our God rather than the laws of man, because the laws of man will do nothing but please the oppressor and keep us in a form of not just oppression but enslavement. Because now it's no longer slave to slave master. It's now employee and employer. It's now war and inmate. You understand what I'm saying? It's just the slavery and the oppression just comes in many different forms now. It's not just through slavery. Block here. Let's see. In the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 22, it says, "Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is an abomination." That's another form of wickedness that we're encountering in today's society. We got the LGBTQ community. They done turned the white man's alphabet into a whole movement. They done took letters out the alphabet and made it into a whole movement. You understand? You got the transformer community. You got brothers wanting to cut off their rod and transform into a woman. No matter how you augment yourself in today's society, you still are who you are and who you were born to be. No matter what, you want to cut your rod off, you still a man. No matter how you cut and slice it. I don't give a good goddamn what you think you identify as. You were born a boy, you are a boy, demon. Same thing as y'all girls. Y'all sit there and want to sit there and act like men for what? Like, these young girls don't even realize how toxic it is for y'all to sit there and deal with your own kind. You want to sit there and act and date a woman. Them arguments come off worse than it is when you got a nigga. Like, let's be realistic. Go ahead, Mama. So I knew I was going to trigger something in your spirit.
Yes, sir. I mean, them LGBTQ domestic violence relationships are the worst. They have the highest rate of domestic violence. Dyke relationships with women and women,
yeah,
and man, they are the highest, most domestic violence relationships, the highest. So when a sister say she's dealing with another woman because she can't stand men, then why do they have the highest form of domestic violence, way more than a man? Because usually a man gonna try to back up and say, I ain't gonna hit her. If it's two women that's mad and pissed, they swinging at each other. They both
trying
women.
To off each other. They're trying to off each other.
They trying to off each other.
And ain't
That's
nobody
a bad situation.
And one of my nieces, she thinks she like girls, and I tell my niece all the time, like, I got little cousins and nieces, that's been exposed to that type of behavior, and I explain to them, like, you got to look at something. You're young. Give yourself time to grow. Learn who the hell you are first before you decide to want to figure out if you want to date a boy or a girl. At the end of the day, you was created to be with a man. You understand? I understand you probably had a situation that broke you felt a little heartbroken because you was young and your little feelings was hurt. Learn to get over it. Give yourself time to get to know who you are first, and then give it a shot. And if it don't work again, then you need to go back to the drawing board and figure it out what it is about you that keep attracting these type of boys that you just can't get with. You get what I'm saying? Maybe you're trying to attract the wrong type of boy. You get what I'm saying? So that, like, they gotta understand. I told them, like, if you sit there and try to deal with a girl, it's not going to end well, because if y'all get into a fight, ain't nobody getting in the middle of that. Ain't nobody breaking that up. Ain't nobody intervening. That's a cat fight. They just going to sit back and get their phones out. They're going to get their cameras out. That's about all they're going to do. And it can end bad. It can end almost tragic. Yeah. And you don't want that. Same thing with two men. A friend of mine in the world said the most profound thing when we was younger. He said, "Yo, the most ugliest thing I've ever seen is two grown men fighting." I said, "You know what? He makes a valid point. Like, especially if y'all friends, you know what I mean? Like, it's one thing if y'all have a disagreement or, we young, we go in the backyard and duke it out or whatever. Because honestly, a lot of our friends that we came up with, that's how we met. Either we went to school together, or we fought, and then we just got cool after that. You know what I'm saying? But all this alphabet community, transformer community, man line with mankind, and woman line with womankind, it's an abomination to God. It's a direct disrespect to transgression, and it turns you into a wicked beast because it takes away from the law, statutes, and commandments, and it transforms you into a whole nother creature. You understand?
All right, so Salakia, sir. So I want you to touch on this for me. If I would like for you to touch on this real quick, sir. So the LGBTQ community have the highest domestic violence rate, and they still so-called cheat on each other. So what was the point of a sister saying she wants to be with another sister because the man cheated? What's the sense of a man saying I'm only want to deal with dudes now because the woman's a fast tail?
No, you know what it is.
It's a lust. It's a lust demon. It's a lust demon.
You know what it is.
What's your take
So,
on it?
my take on why they want to try to date women is because they don't want to accept the harsh reality that it's lawful for men to have more than one wife, because women are raised to be selfish. Women are raised to be selfish bitches, and it's sad because they don't understand the beauty that could come from, you know, living as the Lord intended us to live. Don't you know if your husband has 4 other wives, that your household income has just increased substantially? Did you realize that now you don't forever need a babysitter? You don't ever gotta look for a babysitter because now you have one internally, and one that can be trusted, and vice versa. Like, women don't look at the bright side of a situation. They always want to look at make a negative point about something that's not even negative. First off, they don't realize or understand the concept that sex is marriage, because we are so wicked to one another in the world and so beat down and oppressed that we don't even want to look at what the Bible says, because of what we were already taught from society and our parents and our grandparents and the radio. You know what I mean? Because you got people like Steve Harvey promoting promiscuity and telling sisters you should sleep around until you find that one man. No, you telling her to further lose value. That's how she ended up with 4 kids and 3 baby daddies, and she ain't got no value left because she's already 28 with 4 kids. She washed up. Ain't no brother going. And let's be realistic. How they talk about on shows like Fresh and Fit, you're not going. A high value man is not going to want no woman like that. And especially if you want one of those top tier brothers that make six or more figures.
Yeah, you'll have to be a fool.
So like when you really only work for 4-figure nigga.
Yeah, Salakia, so you have to be a fool to be a so-called 6-figure nigga or whatever the case may be, to go and take all your money and take care of another man's responsibilities. So he got to enjoy the pleasure of making the babies. So now you get this rented vagina and his burden to take on. I don't even understand how we even got adapted to this nonsense. It makes no sense, right? Only blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, mainly the tribe of Judah, Black Americans, we have truly got addicted and made a habit of being someone's stepfather. Now I can understand the brother passed away. I can understand if the brother left his family.
In all honesty, technically, that's the only situation where it's actually correct and lawful. Is if the brother passed away and the sister's been a widow for X amount of years. You understand?
Right.
But that's an uphill battle too, because you got to think about the mindset of that, the mind frame of that sister, because maybe she really did love that man and was trying to be with only him, but he passed away. The fight in the battle is getting her past that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's a challenge in itself. Yeah, it's lawful to deal with her, but at the same time, do you want to take that battle on? Are you willing to go through the steps to get her proper counsel? You know what I mean? Are you willing to get her therapy? Is she going to be willing? Can you convince her that she needs therapy potentially?
But what I'm trying to get at, sir, what I'm trying to get at, sir, is these brothers and sisters do this naturally. Like it be sisters with like 5 baby fathers, right? All of them living and breathing, and she just go from one to another to another to another, like it's natural. And these tenderoni dummies stand right there online, like they at Enterprise rental, waiting to see who could jump in the car next and rent it and test drive. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. And then when you end up where she get pregnant and you don't know if the child is yours, or you end up on child support for a child that's not yours, now you want everyone to feel bad for you.
Mm-hmm. And again, this is all part of women being taught wrong and becoming wicked bitches, and society being the oppressive society that it is. That's why it's a bad combination of oppression and wickedness. This is why I got 2 different sets of scriptures for today's class. You get what I'm saying? Because I got scriptures on wickedness and I got scriptures on oppression, because they're synonymous with one. You get what I'm saying? Because through us being oppressed, we've become wicked creatures to one another. You understand? Prime example. We go to Proverbs chapter 10, verse 24. The fear of the wicked, it shall come upon him, but the desire of the righteous shall be granted. Meaning, if we're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, you fear being wicked. You understand? Because we strive to be righteous in here. In this school, we strive to be righteous. If we continue to strive to be righteous and keep these law, statutes, and commandments and fear the Lord God and fear being wicked, then righteousness righteous shall be granted. I was talking about the book of Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 24, where it says, the fear of the wicked, it shall come upon him, but the desire of the righteous shall be granted. You understand? Righteousness will be granted upon us if we keep the law, statutes, and commandments. And we should fear being wicked. If we see what real wickedness looks like in this world, that should scare us enough into keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, period. But again, like we were bringing out with these percentages and stuff like that, us being oppressed is like it greatly out. I'm trying to find a way to put it, because oppression and wickedness is like overwhelming in today's society. You get what I'm saying? And we allow it to overtake us to where we get blinded and we can't see what's really in front of us. Which is why we could go outside and hold interviews right now and ask 50 different people about signs and wonders and oppression and the wickedness of the world. And you can guarantee at least 40 out of those 50 people are going to say the same thing. And it's going to be a Christian response. And the other 10 is just going to be cardinal as hell. You get what I'm saying? We have to
Right.
we have to be able to take oppression seriously. Now, if we go, let's see. Now, we go to Psalms chapter 119, verse 127. It says, therefore, I love thy commandments above gold, yea, above fine gold. We have to reach that point, Mar. So we have to be able to love these law, statutes, and commandments and live them and treat them like fine gold. You understand? That's the only way we could find ways to stay from being oppressed or not losing ourselves in the oppression. Because as long as we keep in the law, statutes, and commandments, we will have the compassion, the mercy, and the service of the Lord. And that's what matters in these perilous times. In these times of trouble, as long as we keep in these law, statutes, and commandments, right? The Most High will make a way for us to be less oppressed. The Most High will make a way for us to be less stressed. The Most High will always make a way for us to make it out of a situation, especially a bad one, whether if it's financial, whether if it's physical, whether if it's spiritual. You know, as long as we keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, the Most High got us. And as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we have to realize that in order to survive out here. Let's see where I want to go first. You know, I want to show something. I don't know if this is staged. I ain't hear you. Signal was messed up. Like, I don't know if this was staged, right? But let me see. I want to share something, right?
You lost? It's okay. Come with me. Come with me. What's your name? Okay. Okay. I'm gonna take care of you, all right? What the fuck? You know your last name? Come on, man. Gotta record, protect myself, man. Damn. This some bullshit. You alright, youngin'? Yes. Okay. On top of that? Yes. Come on, man. Are you lost?
I'm gonna play this back. I just showed this clip. I don't know if this is staged or not. I don't think so, but this is an example of when we're loving one another as a people. You will only see this right here in Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian communities, right? Now check this clip out. This little boy, I don't know where his parents was at, but he's just standing on the sidewalk looking lost, and his brother came and scooped him up, right? Check it out.
You lost? It's okay. Come with me. Come with me. What's your name? Okay. Okay. I'm gonna take care of you, all right? What the fuck? You know your last name? Come on, man. Gotta record, protect myself, man. Damn. This some bullshit. You alright, youngin'? Yes. Okay. On top of that? Yes. Come on, man.
I know you try and get your signal right, but let me tell you something. That's an example of a black man, right? That's the love and compassion that a black man has for another, for a child. You understand? We have an innate ability and natural ability to take on life. You understand? No matter the oppression, no matter the wickedness, we are who we are. You understand? We are the real superheroes in this world. We just have to unlock these abilities. You understand? How can we if we're constantly oppressed, Israel? How can we if we're constantly being beat down, and oppressed, and we're disrespecting, hurting one another, lying to one another, unaliving one another? How can we see what's in front of us when we're blinding each other? How can we, Israel? If we go to the book of Psalms, chapter 38, verse 18, says, "The Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart," meaning mind, a broken mind, "and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit." The Most High will hear your cries. As long as you're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, the Lord will hear your prayers. The Lord will give you guidance when your spirit is troubled. You understand? You just have to lean unto him. Lean unto these law, statutes, and commandments. Lean unto these scriptures. Lean unto brotherhood. Anytime, and this is why brotherhood is the strongest weapon we have. When you have a contrite spirit, when you're in times of trouble, this is why you call a brother. When you're going through something, you call a brother. When you're feeling down or depressed or oppressed, you call a brother. That's what this brotherhood is about. You call a brother. I pray you understand, Israel. I'm trying to get Mawasar back connected on here. He got a bad signal in the hospital. Let me see if I can bring him back. Can you hear me? Let me know when you can hear me, Mawasar. You got a fair signal now?
So I'm about to see if I get in this spot right here, will it be all right?
But yeah, like I was saying, I was playing that clip and I was explaining how, as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we ain't got to know each other from a can of paint, but we have an innate ability to take on life. If we see a child by themselves, we not leaving that child by themselves. I don't care where you at, what hood you in. That's just not happening. It could be a gang of niggas on a corner. If we see a kid walking around looking lost, we're protecting that child, period. We're going to make sure that child is okay. And we're going to find a way to make sure that we find their parent or parents. That's just who we are as a people internally. I don't understand how we allow the white man or the world to give us such a negative view when we're the ones that's been oppressed. We're the ones that's been institutionalized. We're the ones that's been put in chain gangs and put out in cotton fields and such. This is the stuff that we bring out in these classes. This is the reason why we bring life to these scriptures, because this is our records. This is our history book. And it's the only living book that tells us about us, past, present, and future. You understand? And this world is very wicked, and the men in the world is even more wicked than the word itself. Okay, I read that one. And we go to the book of Psalms, chapter 141, verse 10. It says, "Let the wicked fall into their own nets, whilst that I withal escape." Meaning, let the wicked fall in their own trap. Let them argue with their goddamn self. Let them leave them to their own devices. Leave the wicked to their own destruction. You twab.
Yeah, I had to come in this library family room real quick. I had to leave my son room. I don't know why I wasn't picking up in there. Let's
Because of
continue,
the
sir.
machines in the room. It could
Like
be
it, sir?
it could be because of the machine. If there's any machines in the room, sometimes that give off signal. Just like when you're in a hospital, the machines
Yeah.
can throw
Nah.
off through the signal. I was just reading the book of Psalms, chapter 141, verse 10. Let the wicked
All right.
fall. Let the wicked fall into their own nets, whilst that I withal escape. Meaning, let the wicked fall on their own traps. Let them fall on their own. Leave them to their own devices. Don't fall for it. Let them do the falling for you. Because as long as you're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, when they try to trip you up, the Lord will allow you to escape them. You understand? Just like when it says the wicked flee, no man pursueth. Let them flee and fall into their own nets. Let the wicked be who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like it cost you nothing to pay them no mind. Now I'm the next clip I'm gonna play is an example of us as a people being so oppressed that we oppress one another. This homeless man asked a young brother for some change, and he treated him like he was some junkie or something, and it almost ended bad. You know what I'm saying? Like the homeless dude was about to give that young boy the business. And this is why we have to stop having these misconceptions about one another and stop judging a book by its cover. At the end of the day, if he a nigga, that's your people. Help him if you can. You get what I'm saying? Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. If that's your people, help him. If he falls, help him the hell up. Period. All right, let me play this.
Scrubber. So you wrong for that. What make you think I get high? Because you think I get high. You judge a book by a scrubber. So you wrong for that. What make you think I get high? Because I'm black?
Because like the like.
For what? What? Because what?
The state you're on the street. Like the state
you
you're
on the streets for too.
I am on the street.
So how you think the white man look at you? You think he look at me any different? Where money at?
All right, but all right.
Yo, go ahead, man. Yo, you gonna play the money games? Is you gonna play money?
Here, bro.
Yo, I'm a grown man. You playing with a grown man. You play with your father like that?
No.
So don't play with no grown man like that. We had a car. Just now you just said what type of drugs I was.
I know, I said that.
Then you called me a nigga out of my name.
I know.
So now what are you doing? So now what we got to do. So now what make you think I get high?
Now see, the homeless man not wrong, but at the end of the day, this is part of us being oppressed and beaten down to a fine powder. You get what I'm saying, Mama Star? Like that's a prime example. We preach that young boy prejudging with like judge a book by its cover. My man wasn't wrong. He said like, would you judge or talk to your treat your father like that? Like
Right.
Basically watch your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Be more. We have to, whether in the truth or in the world, we have to understand. We have to know this. Period. We have to learn to be more mindful with how we talk to one another, how we treat one another, and not to disrespect one another, because you never know. You never know what your actions can affect. You understand? Our actions can directly affect someone's nature, period. Sometimes we might wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Just from that right there, we can have a long day if we don't correct that, if we don't tighten that up. Because you wake up with an attitude that you got a demon on you. Now you about to pass that demon on to everybody else, because now you start arguing with your rib out of nowhere before you leave out the house. You know what I'm saying? Now you wrongfully spazzing on the kids. Now you leave out the house. Now you got road rage all of a sudden. Now you beeping the horn at everybody, damn near hopping out on somebody on your way to work. You get to work on time. You might be a minute late. Your boss try to say something to you. Now you want to spaz on your boss and got him shook to find to say something to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, our actions have reactions and consequences to it. We have, we being priests, we somewhat know better, but we still make mistakes sometimes because we still have work to do. You know what I mean? We still have improvements to make. But we still have to learn to be more mindful of how we treat one another and how we treat people in the world as well. We want to give them the same honor if they're older than us, you know what I mean? And if they're younger than us, we still have to give them the same respect that we want to receive. So we have to learn to be more mindful with how we talk to one another and how we treat one another. Don't fall into that cycle. Don't fall into that cycle of wickedness. Just why I said, let the wicked fall into their own net. We're not supposed to fall into their wickedness. And that's all. And again, that's all part of us being in this truth and learning these laws, statutes, and commandments. This is why we implore our people to be in, to learn these laws, statutes, and commandments. Get into class, put on all black. Sisters, dress modestly, cover your hair up, but come and learn. Slocky, let me get these preset ready. Give me a minute, Israel. If you got something you want to add, go ahead. I don't want to have just dead air.
It's lucky, sir. Now, man, the reason that people pick up all these demons now living in these last days, right? This devil has this whole earth oppressed. That goes with the scripture when the wicked is in authority. No, I mean the people mourn. Right now, everybody's mourning. All nations are mourning on this earth right now. Salakia.
God, know what you're saying is heavy.
Everybody's mourning. Yeah,
Damn.
everybody's mourning. I mean, everything. I mean, what? Like again, like what I say, you can't drink no water without getting sick. You can't eat food without getting sick. The rent is $4,000 a month. Everybody that thought they was going to buy a home, now I mean, their houses is $700,000. Everybody that's talking about six figures is like making $7 an hour now. Price of eggs is $12 a carton. The whole earth, all of this morning on this earth, period, is gonna rise oppression. It's gonna make everybody wake up and lose their mind. The road rage is out of control. You got to see how many accidents is in New Jersey right now.
Well, trust me, I know. You know, I do Uber, so I see that stuff every day. You'd be surprised. In the same spots too. Damn near every morning,
Right,
back to back. Now, it's
right.
heavy you said that because what also Dunya brought out earlier was we was talking about it, how Trump's passing these laws, and I told him he's going as far as trying to pass a law and say we got 2 years, but he's trying to eliminate Section 8, subsidized housing, um, food stamps, and stuff like that. He's trying to eliminate all of that. Now, even though we have that innate ability to thrive and overcome, but we've grown accustomed to these governmental services and use them for what they for. You know what I mean? But you got a lot of, but I get where he comes from. You got a lot of people not trying to better themselves or improve. They just stagnate inside receiving this assistance and just treat it like that's it. You know, and I get that. But at the same time, it's like he's going to force people in a fight or flight situation. There's going to be a lot of sisters out there messed up, you know, not having that free apartment no more, that low ass income, and they're gonna have to go back to work. Can't sit there and be looking for a sugar daddy no more, or looking for a 6-figure brother. Gonna have to settle for that postal worker. You're gonna have to settle for that brother
Right.
that works at Dunkin' Donuts. You better make it work. So what?
Salakia, sir.
So what? He work at the toll booth so what he work at the toll booth? He making almost
On
30
the
an hour.
parkway.
You better bag and tag that, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That brother out there
Salakia, sir.
fixing boilers and air conditioners. You better cat call his ass before he gets snatched up. Like for real,
Yeah.
Baba. So like we gotta look at the severity of the situation. Like Trump is about to force us to recreate Black Wall Street. But you know, as a people, we're not ready for that. We're not.
Nah, nah,
We're not.
nah,
We're not
sir.
ready for that.
Yeah, Salakia, sir. Trump going to use that list. He's going to go and he's going to destroy that Section 8 list and that list based on how many years people been on it for. So, sister on that that Section 8 for over 30 years, right? And out of nowhere, she ain't worked in over 30 or 20 years, and now she's just thrown out in the streets, forced to do anything. A lot
She
of
been
people are
moved on.
getting ready
She
to be
done gave
destroyed.
the apartment to the kids. She done gave the Section 8 to the kids. You
Then she
feel
gonna
me?
mess around and get the kids. Then she gonna mess around and get the kids thrown out because they're gonna go by how long you've been on it for.
Let me tell you. Think about how bad that's going to be for business owners that own buildings, multi-unit dwellings, and houses that accept Section 8 as their payment, as their source of income for those properties. Think about what that's going to do to these business owners. Also, Dane said the dude that owns the liquor store by his old slave, he owns those apartment buildings in that neighboring area, and he accepts Section 8. I told Sadanya if that brother stops getting the Section 8 payments, he might run now. He might be out of business. He might have to move some stuff around. You know what I'm saying? Like Section 8 is more than just subsidized housing or giving out free apartments in the projects. You got people that's in the rent to own or housing programs through HUD and through Section 8 that help you buy houses through Section 8. Because again, what also Daniel brought out, Section 8 come in handy if you buying a house and you ain't got that down payment or that closing cost. He had Alexa pull it up for a $500,000 house, and that's a low ass number. For a $500,000 house, you need $100,000 down and another 30 to 50,000 for a closing cost. That's for the realtor and fees and taxes and all of that. You get what I'm saying? So you basically need 150,000 down on a $500,000 house.
Man, Salakia, sir. It was this brother, right? And he was saving up his money to try to go down to Tennessee to buy a house. He was trying to buy this house in 2020, right before COVID, around time COVID hit. The house was
Right.
175,000 down in Tennessee. He saved up his money within a couple years. He went back down there to try to purchase the house. The house is $750,000 now within 4.5 years.
I do one better. I learned the shortcut. This is what you do. And this cuts out extra fees, taxes, and everything. You get one flat fee. Go down south somewhere. I don't give a crap where, and just buy you 2 acres of land.
Yeah.
Whatever the fee is for the land, just pay it off top. And you know why? Because after that, you build your house. And I'm gonna tell you why. When you buy the land itself, and off camera, I'm gonna tell you some ways that I learned that you can go about actually buying and actually owning the land, not buying it and still not own it. Because people buy houses and still don't own them. I learned the little trick and hack on how to really own your car, really own your house, really own your 2 acres. You know what I'm saying? Is a certain type of title you gotta ask for. But I'll bring that out off camera. You feel me? I'll plug you in on it.
Yes, sir. But, all these taxes that you gotta pay on these lands and these properties every year alone is oppression.
Well,
and they don't.
Once you buy the 2 acres and you pay the property tax up front, you ain't gotta pay no other fees, no, because you don't got no property on it. The only other thing you'll probably pay is if it has a well on it. You just gotta pay for the water. You get what I'm saying? But the good thing is, once you do that and you want to build your house, all you gotta do is go through, and is a shortcut for it. You go through the contractor. All you need is the proper permits and everything. You just pay the contractor a couple extra dollars and he'll provide the permits for you and the documentation, the paperwork for you. Let the contractor do the work. Just pay the extra bread. You feel me? Because you're still saving thousands of dollars at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So we have to educate ourselves and educate our brothers and sisters so they could prepare themselves for the oppression that's yet to come once these government programs has been strict. Right.
Once they be strict. Once these government programs are strict.
Now, what Trump said he's not going to do, he's not going to touch Social Security or disability. He ain't going to touch Social Security or disability, right? Thank God for that, because I'm just now starting to get approved for disability because until I could physically go back to work again. Lord allow it. I mean, if I can't, then so be it. But that's what it is for right now. But look at how the job market is now. It's gonna be hard for a lot of people that ain't have a job in forever to try to find a job. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna go back to talking about that. Oh, we gotta lace up, we gotta tighten up our bootstraps and this, that, and the third, and thug it out. But see, again, this is where it's gonna put these sisters in a fight or flight situation, and they're gonna stop being stubborn, stop being feminists, stop being bitches, and they're gonna bring their baby daddies back into the household. They're gonna bring their husbands back into the household, or they're gonna be searching for a new lollipop, but they're gonna keep him in the household. They're gonna cook, clean, suck, and hump him, keep him happy in the house. And they're gonna be submissive and compliant. because if they ain't gonna want to work, they're gonna have to find a way to get them bills paid. And the best way for them to do that is to sit there, shut their goddamn mouth, and be submissive to their own husband. That's the best way I could. That's the best way I could put it. But again, in today's time, we in times of oppression. Now, if we go to the book of James, chapter 2, verse 6, it says, "But ye have despised the poor. Do you not rich men oppress you? Do not a rich man oppress you and draw you before the judgment seats?" Meaning, rich men despise us. Trump despises us, poor and middle class folks, and they oppress us, and they want to judge us at the same time. Who the hell are them to judge us because they got money? Like that's why I don't. That's why I don't talk to my rib now, because she think because she got money that it's okay that she thinks she could talk to me any kind of way or treat me any kind of way because you got money now. That's why I told her I liked it better when we was broke, because we was grinding it from the mud together. Now you get a little couple $millions. Now you want to try to dangle money in front of a brother like a carrot. Like I'm supposed to just jump and be a lackey. It don't work like that. You got all that money, that's my money. All them houses you got, those are my houses. Basically you my bitch. I run that. She know that, but she got demons on her. That's why whenever I go home, when she call me and say she missed me, come home, I come home. She always open the door. Dogs be at the door. She be like, "See, your bitches miss you, me included." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." You know what I'm saying?
Man,
Anytime I go home, the dogs be waiting for me at the door. She be at the door waiting for me too.
Salakia, sir, what's heavy about that precept you just pulled out about don't rich people oppress you? What's them people known in California who took all the damn water? The Resnicks, the Resnicks that had 95% of the water in California, they worth $13 billion.
When did they
They
do
worth
that?
$8 billion. $8 billion, and they control 95% of the water in California, to where there ain't enough water in the hydrants to put out the wildfires, right? James said, "Don't rich people oppress you?" $8 billion just ain't enough. They got to take 95% of the water so no one can put out fires. It's ridiculous.
I'll read it again. It says, Book of James, chapter 2, verse 6. "But ye have despised the poor. Do not rich men oppress you and draw you before the judgment seats?" God, they do. They you know how they oppress us? When they sit there and try to have us do more than what they pay us to do. When they sit there and try to lean on us to do other people's jobs. You ever been in a job where they got you doing managerial work, but they give you regular employee pay?
Right, all the time.
Like it's been many jobs I worked where I was just a regular loader or something like that, and they got me doing manager's work. That's why I got the warehouse. That's why I got the warehouse experience that I have. And if I was in position, I know how to open up and run an entire warehouse. I'm talking about from loading and unloading, shipping and receiving, doing customer service, knowing how to assign doors and handle all the logistics and paperwork of all the trucks that come in and out with the loads and for loads, cycle count for all the inventory in the warehouse, red book and blue book for payroll, the pay the employees. Like I know about all of that. I could run an entire warehouse by myself.
Most High in Christ.
Like I know how to run the forklifts. I know how to do selections. So I know what equipment I would need if I was to run a warehouse, how I'd have that thing set up, shelves, organized, all of that. I had that warehouse from A to Z looking better than Amazon. But see, if I was to do something like that, I would put myself in position to where I'd have it to where I know I'm gonna have enough money coming into where I can pay my employees like they deserve. Not to keep me rich and keep them poor. You get what I'm saying?
Sir, you're righteous. You know what I mean? It's a big difference.
Your average loader and unloader is only making between no bull crap between $8 and probably $16 an hour. I'm not even gonna entertain them with them type of numbers. I'm gonna bring them in automatically for $22 an hour as a loader. and unloader.
Right.
And if you certify for the hollow, I'll pay you $27 an hour, $28 an hour. So that leaves a cushion for the loader and unloader to excel and make more money to reach that bracket, and for the hollow drivers and the ones that do selections, room to grow and make money into that next bracket as well.
No, right, sir. I remember, right.
I put
When I was in the
salary, but I will make sure that salary is suave though. I'm not going to get them no BS $30,000, $35,000 salary. I give them about 42, 45. I'll start them off at 42 to 45,000, close to 50. You know what I mean? Cap them off at 62, because that's still good money for a supervisor.
It's a lot, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I got one better, right? I remember when I was in the world, I was in the roofers union, right? In the roofers union, when you come in as an apprentice, you start off with like $15, $20 an hour in the roofers union. And then when you become a journeyman, you get $60 an hour, right? You get $60 an hour to $65 an hour, right? So with the devil, okay, sir. So it was this devil, well, roofing company I worked for. He was a millionaire. So you know what he did? We had the Montclair job, the Montclair college job. The job was a $10 million job, right? You know what this devil did? Everybody that was making $30 to $60 an hour or better, he would lie and say that it ain't no work and sit all the blacks and Hispanics down who was in the union and bring in brothers and sisters off the books making $10 an hour, right? And he would keep all the money that the union was supposed to be making to himself. And he was in the union. It was a union company. He was basically scabbing his own union. Like that animal is a beast, bro. The pale-faced oppressor will stab his own union. He was a union. He only got the contract because it was a union company, or he wouldn't have been able to get the bid. He gets the bid and tells all the union workers in his hall not to come in, and he puts ununion people on the job for $10 an hour. A $10 million job.
All right. I got no problem. I got no precious scripture for you for that, and I got a wicked scripture for that. We're going to go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 26. A righteous man falling down before the wicked is as a troubled fountain and a corrupt spring. You understand? We as righteous men is honest brothers trying to make an honest living. And us in that situation right there, we're falling before the feet of a wicked man that used us and put us on the sideline so he can keep the money for himself. He's that corrupt spring. He's the equivalent of us being the troubled fountain because we need to make the money, but we got to go to him to get it. And he's the corrupt spring. That's the equivalent of what you just broke down with that greedy ass devil. That's crazy.
Yes, sir. Give me that precept again in Proverbs.
Proverbs chapter 25, verse 26. A righteous man falling down. Yeah, 25, verse 26. A righteous man falling down before the wicked is as a troubled fountain and a corrupt spring.
Ooh. Oh yeah. That's a wicked, rich, greedy bastards breakdown right there for these greedy owners and managers and people. And then they have their foremans and their managers who's their stunt dummies, who's their plantation runners, who runs the plantation, boy. And boy, do they be do they be riding them owners' rides.
And look, and that's crazy.
It makes no sense.
Flipping between oppression and wicked scriptures, and that precept is in both. That's crazy. That served as wicked and oppression. That's crazy. I gave you that one right there, Mo. But what you're saying is heavy, and what you're bringing out is even heavier, because what can we do? If we not serving our God and we not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, then what can we really do in these situations? And think about it. We don't rock with one another. We don't rock with our own people. So what can we do? We don't gather together. We don't got no more black-owned mom and pop stores in the hood no more like we had here and there when we was growing up. You know what I'm saying? When I was a little kid going to school, I used to go down the block to Mr. and Mrs. King's store, the only store in the ad that had an arcade machine in it. You know what I mean? I'd get my snacks for school, had some change left over. I'll play Street Fighter for a few minutes before I leave out the store. You know what I'm saying? And then over time, Mr. King passed away. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't got mom and pop stores like that no more. Like, when I was a teenager, we used to have a little sweet shop on the Ave. They opened up at 11 and closed at 4. You get what I'm saying? So that was our little late night store where we can get snacks and sodas and stuff while we out, out being
Came up in that era, sir.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. So, but we don't have mom and pop stores like that no more. Like, we used to have a Clam Bar up on Ocean. That used to be the little late night hangout spot. Get your pizza, your burger, your cheesesteak, whatever. But that was more like a hangout spot right there, because that's like that was the equivalent of hanging out in front of Crown's Chicken at night, because Crown's don't close till like 2 in the morning. You know what I mean? Hanging out in the parking lot. Or down south, being in the south, IHOP was the hangout spot after the clubs closed down, when when you down in VA or something. You had spots like the Beach House and Picasso's. Everybody go to IHOP, hang out in the parking lot like that. Those used to be the spots back in the day, but we don't have those mom and pop stores no more. We don't have that unity in the community like we used to. Like, you could be a little kid playing on the block. If you doing something you ain't got no business doing, one of the parents will grab your ass up and take you down to your grandmother's house. You know what I'm saying? We don't have that camaraderie in the hood no more. Now you try to do that, you bring them to their mama house or their grandmama house, they trying to fight you for being in the business. So you want to let your kid get hit by a car. You want to let your kid sit there and find a crack bottle on the ground and cut themselves, or get exposed to getting high off their drug because they found it on the ground and started messing with it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, in today's society, we have to turn. It's like we have to turn a blind eye. We don't have that camaraderie no more where we can look out for one another and look out for one another's children. We don't have that no more. And why? Because we're oppressed. The white man's the damn devil that the Bible speaks of, and we're oppressed, and we're beat down to a fine powder to where we're complacent in the oppression, to where we leave each other alone. We ignore one another. We could be sitting there walking to the store, and a girl getting her ass whooped by her boyfriend. And what people do today, pull their cameras out and record it instead of intervening. Let me tell you something more. So one time, and this is part of the ignorance and the wickedness of our people being oppressed. One time, let's take, for example, I seen a brother, him and his girl getting into it or whatever, and it was about to get toxic and physical. And I tried to intervene, and they jumped me for getting in their argument. So y'all want to go upside each other's head? Go ahead, then. Go ahead. Y'all want to go upside each other? Go ahead. Let the police break it up, then. That's the type of attitude and the mind frame they leave us in. We trying to look out for one another, trying to prevent from police getting involved, so they don't have to beat the brother up or unalive him. You get what I'm saying? Like, we trying to prevent that from happening so police don't show up. Because let me tell you something that we don't know. If crime is not committed, they don't have a job.
Right.
For every arrest is considered a 2-week vacation. That's how they stack up vacation time for every arrest. Right. Every clean arrest is 2 weeks off. So if we're not giving them a reason to lock us up, they have no job. If we're not committing any crime by robbing each other, by unaliving one another, they don't have no job. If we take away the crime out the neighborhood, they got to close a precinct down for budget cuts. Now it's one less precinct. You feel me? If we cut back on the drugs being sold in the neighborhood and we cut back on the gang violence in the neighborhood, guess what? We taking them out of work. They got to do something else. Why are we enabling them to do their goddamn job? The only thing I'm happy of is the murder rate being down in Jersey City over the past year, Marcel. Over 42%.
You can't say much because that difference is right there. So you give it to security.
Like over 42% in the past year. I'm happy for it. I'm proud of it. This is why we have to stop being so goddamn wicked to one another, and we have to look past the oppression. Another example of us needing to rise above it. I'm gonna bring out this next clip while you work out your signal.
Beef is corny. People die.
Super corny.
Beef is stupid. Us fighting each other is dumb. Period. Stay the fuck away from all of that shit. What I learned is this is a program that they enjoy for entertainment.
Sit back and watch.
But you got to think about it. When laws were passed to be made for hundreds of years, not for 10, 20. And laws were made fresh off of people having slaves. Right. So most of the time, those people were like, oh shit, what are we going to do? It's illegal to have slaves. You got to get them to be slaves again. Let's make laws that they cannot actually abide by. Keep them broke so they fight each other all day, kill each other, go to jail. So that way they can now put you back in shackles, back in the cage and make you work for a slave wage. Instead of master, let's call it warden or CO. And now it's completely legal. It's a program that must be broken. Do you notice that courthouses, jails, schools, and hospitals all look exactly the same?
Yep.
You think that's a coincidence?
No.
Why wouldn't a school be on like a beach or like someplace nice, or a hospital be someplace inviting? What rehabilitation can you give someone from putting them in a cage and treating them like a dog? I don't get it, but I do get it. I don't expect my oppressor to give me anything. Especially freedom. Sure. And the thing about freedom is it's cheap, but it's priceless at the same time. Ask someone that doesn't have it. We jeopardize our freedom to survive. We hurt each other. We never hurt our oppressor. We only hurt each other. It's a program.
All in their plan.
But I'm not mad. I think it's clever.
You just
kudos. But I'm mad when we are cognizant of it and we still go right back to the program. So we can say, yo, it's dumb for us to fight each other, but as soon as something fucks with our ego, we back fight each other. Beef is corny.
Did you see that video?
So I think that I remember that Dash video. He hit on a lot of heavy points on that video. Things that we know, but we still don't have the discipline to carry it out.
He brings good light to it because he's a famous person. He's a figure in communities. You know who Dame Dash is when you drop his name. You get what I'm saying? So for him to bring that out, again, for a lot of our people to start seeing this stuff and bringing light to it, the only thing missing is them coming into the truth. Just like when Cap Cesario had that interview with Kanye West. You get what I'm saying? Just like there was this panel, this panel that this brother be on where he be sitting there trying to educate these delusional 304s and telling them what it really is and not what you think it is. He was sitting there on he was having a conversation with Cap Cesario. I just reposted it and shared it on Facebook. And he was explaining how God basically creates good and evil. And he was just basically showing the brother, if I'm not mistaken, the difference between the two and the perception of what Christianity tells us. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
The last clip I'm gonna bring out is a full breakdown of oppression and the wickedness of our oppressor, the devil, the white man. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, this next precept I'm going to bring out is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5, verses 1. It goes all the way to verse 20, but I'm only going to read verse 1 for right now for time's sake. says, keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Meaning, be prepared to go to class and to listen and receive the word of the Lord. Don't be so fast to want to talk, because your mouth is a double-edged sword, and can be used as a very dangerous weapon. To receive, that's why I say keep one foot in the house when you enter in the house of God. Because think about it, we'll be on the fence with stuff, and we'll have 1 foot in the world and 1 foot in the truth. You get what I'm saying? And we have to make that
Right.
conscious decision of making that choice where either we're gonna go balls deep in the truth, or we're gonna be knee deep in the world. And we can't, because you can't do both, because that would be considered like trying to serve two masters. For you'll love one and hate the other. You'll follow one and despise
Right.
the other. You get what I'm saying? So that's what
Right.
that means. You know what? I'm gonna pull that up in my actual Bible, so because I might continue to read on from there, because that right there, that's a heavy precept. Slovakia. Yep, man. Let's go to verse 2 real quick. Where it say, be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before God. Meaning, don't be quick to want to sit there and add your 2 cents when you're sitting there supposed to be learning. Don't think you know the Bible already,
Right.
or you will be in class to learn the Bible. This is why we were always told when we was troopers and young men to shut our goddamn mouth, because we swore we knew something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Always wanting to raise our hand and have something to say, instead of just receiving the goddamn information. Receive the scriptures, you know, and say, for God is
Yeah.
in heaven. So like they say, for God is in heaven and thou upon earth. Therefore, let thy words be few. Meaning, say less. Like the shop tell me all the time, less will get you more. Say less when it comes to learning this truth. Take notes, listen and receive it, because the Lord didn't have to let you hear it to see it. You get what I'm saying? Verse 3, for a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by multitudes of words. Meaning, take heed to the words of the men above you, and take in the words that's being given by the men above you, because you'll be a fool to sit there and be running your lips and to be constantly talking instead of learning what's being said and what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And that was a big problem that I had when I was in Hebrew Academy. I didn't know how to just say con on one con and leave that be. That's why we was always in trouble, because of my mouth. We'd be 200 push-ups in before the workout even starts, before sharpening the sword even starts. We 200 in the Majim, waiting for Captain Nicard to pull up. You know what I'm talking about now. So I can say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why it's wise to just sit there, listen, and take in the information, and just say con out of one con, instead of having an opinion. Keep the opinion to yourself. Wait till after Hebrew Academy and pull the man above you to the side and have that conversation. You know what I mean? Because you got to look at it like this. Their job is the work of the Lord. Their job is to train us, right? So if we interrupt that, we're stopping them from doing their job that they're ordered to do. You got to remember, they could be laid up in their bed with their rib on a Sunday morning, but they up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to be on that field, waiting for you to be there by 6:30 in the morning. Well, I don't know what time y'all get there nowadays, but our generation, we had to be up at 4, be at Marcus Garvey Park in my gym by 6:30. And wait to see them covers coming across and coming apart and already be ready to go. And if you late, you're going to see all your brethren in the push-up position waiting for you to get there. Yeah, I don't know if that happens to y'all, but yeah, that's the love we get. I pray you understand. You know what I'm saying? Verse 4, when thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it, for he have no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. Meaning, if you tell a priest above you that you're going to do something, be a man of your word and keep your word. You understand? Because if you give yourself the reputation of a brother that just blows smoke and don't keep your word, then your salakias mean nothing when you make a mistake. Because all you're going to keep doing is saying salakia, but you're not correcting the problem. This is why brothers above me, I ain't going to say no names, this is why men above me sometimes be like, your salakia don't mean nothing. Because if I keep making the same mistake, then what is my apology going to do? Nothing. So instead of me apologizing, I just don't say nothing. I'll just take one day at a time working on correcting the problem. So if he doesn't acknowledge the problem anymore, that means I made the correction. So that'll improve the relationship with me and that brother. You understand what I'm saying? You won't have to say salakia. So just keep that in mind when you give your word to a brother. Keep that word. All right, now I'm gonna get off of that. I'm gonna pull up this last one, and we're gonna go from there.
Facts, because his entire campaign is not based in facts. It was all based in propaganda and emotion.
I voted for Donald Trump for one reason only. His policies, if implemented, would slow the dispossession of whites in the United States. If you were to deport all illegal immigrants, if you were to think very hard about letting in any Muslims, all of this would slow the rate at which whites are becoming a minority.
Why are you so worried about the white dispossession of America?
Because I want my people to survive. Is that so strange? We don't control China. We don't control any place where whites are not a majority. And if we become a minority, we will not control our own destiny anymore.
I grew up in this country as a minority, as the children of immigrants. I was their first child born in America. And while I didn't have much possession or didn't much control, I really enjoyed myself. You say that you wouldn't want me in this country?
At some point, when my ancestors built this nation, they did not build it with the intention of giving it away to Mexicans or Chinese or Haitians or to anyone else.
Do you consider it, you keep saying your ancestors built this country, you consider that a fact?
Who else built it?
Black people, Native Americans, Chinese people who came and built the railroads.
Do you think none of that could have been
Italian
achieved?
people?
But they're Europeans, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, it's the economy, stupid.
I want to know how it is you voted for Donald Trump when you're so into facts, because his entire campaign is not based.
This is how wicked these oppressors are, right? He's trying to deport Hispanics, not just Mexicans, but Hispanics in general. I'll bring it back for you, Marshall, but this is how wicked these oppressors are. They're trying to deport Hispanics and not just Mexicans from this land, but he's trying to increase the white population because he's trying to slow up white people from becoming minorities. That's what this clip is about. Let me play it back for you.
Based in facts. It was all based in propaganda and emotion.
I voted for Donald Trump for one reason only. His policies, if implemented, would slow the dispossession of whites in the United States. If you were to deport all illegal immigrants, if you were to think very hard about letting in any Muslims, all of this would slow the rate at which whites are becoming a minority.
Why are you so worried about the white dispossession of America?
Because I want my people to survive. Is that so strange? We don't control China. We don't control any place where whites are not a majority. And if we become a minority, we will not control our own destiny anymore.
I grew up in this country as a minority, as the children of immigrants. I was their first child born in America. And while I didn't have much possession or didn't much control, I really enjoyed myself. You say that you wouldn't want me in this country?
At some point,
No.
when my ancestors built this nation, they did not build it with the intention of giving it away to Mexicans or Chinese or Haitians or to anyone else.
Do you consider, you keep saying your ancestors built this country, you consider that a fact?
Who else built it?
Black people, Native Americans, Chinese people who came and built the railroads.
Do you think none of that could have been
Italian
achieved?
people.
But they're Europeans, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, it's the economy, stupid.
I want to know how.
The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. I'm going to say that because he's delusional if he's going to sit there and say his ancestors built this country. No, they wasn't. Y'all was slave masters. Y'all ain't even from this country. Y'all came from Europe. Y'all came from Spain. Y'all served the queen. You understand? Y'all served a woman. Y'all ain't even serve a king. Y'all served a queen. That's where y'all originate from. Y'all have come from the Caucasus Mountains, from the mountains of Caucasus. You know what I'm saying? Y'all came from caves. Y'all cave dwellers. How dare y'all sit there and try to sit there and say, oh, we built this country. That's how wicked y'all bastards is. Y'all go sit there and say y'all built this country and y'all trying to deport our brothers and sisters so you could slow up to the what's the word I'm looking for? The decrease of the population of your people. That's what you want to lead us to believe. The nerve of y'all. And we're going to close this off with Book of Revelations, chapter 21, verse 8. But the fearful and the unbelieving and the abominable and the murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. All of y'all, NASA space program, all you drug dealers, and I ain't talking about the blacks, Hispanics, and Indians that sell drugs. I'm talking about all you white people and all you heathens that's cutting up and processing and making these drugs and such and putting them in the neighborhoods to try to have black people peddle and push this stuff. Chinese people got a whole community of addicts that they cook and bake opium and give it to these people. Ain't nobody never watch Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee. He held that martial arts tournament so he could hire people as his high security and honor guards while he transformed that whole island into an opium den. And he got people testing out his drugs before he shipped them out the country to various places to be distributed. People don't even understand the real message that was behind that movie. They just looked at the martial arts factor and all these murderers and abominable people, LGBTQ and the transformer community, all y'all atheists, all you people that believe in Caesar Borgia, who y'all try to call Christ, that white stringy haired bastard, all y'all idolaters, all you liars, all you Christians, all you Muslims, all of y'all fake believers in the faith, all of y'all gonna burn in a lake of fire and brimstone. Every last one of y'all gonna burn. Y'all gonna burn. You still ain't got no signal yet, Marshall? I'm trying to hang on for you, brother, because I'm about to wrap this up. All right, till you fix your signal. I'm gonna close it out. I'm gonna read it for you. Here we go. You good? Oh shit, there you go. All right. I'm gonna read it one more time for you. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 8. But the fearful and the unbelieving and the abominable and the murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. This second death that y'all gonna face, y'all gonna get it. Y'all gonna feel it. And I pray for those Black Hispanics and Native Indians. I pray y'all get it to where y'all could start coming together and learn these laws, statutes, and commandments, so y'all don't have to go through it with these oppressors. I pray y'all understand. Pay your tithes, pay your tithes, pay your tithes. The Lord's annual 56 Passover is coming up April 7th to April 14th. Make sure y'all book your hotel rooms, book your Airbnbs, book your rentals if y'all not going to fly because the planes keep crashing. You know what I'm saying? Book your rentals ahead of time so you can save money on rates. And that's my time, Israel. With that, shalom.